Welcome back to another episode of Lana Hustle. Today I don't have a guest. It's just a solo episode because my mom is currently training back there on the computer, and she once said, "Oh, I could never turn on a computer," and look at her handling the fulfillment side. So I know she's gonna kill it. It's just giving her that push and that, like, just letting go of old beliefs that she had. And I'm so excited because it's just me and you, and I'm gonna bring a lot of value to this episode. So before I start, don't forget to download this podcast if you're listening to on Apple or Spotify, or subscribe to our YouTube channel. Promise you I'm gonna come out with more vlogs soon as we hire a social media manager, so that way I can have Ashley just focus on YouTube, podcasts, and all things like branding and projects, and then we can have our social media manager handle our day-to-day tasks. So with that being said, and comment down below on what you guys want to see next. Let's get into it. How do I build courage, or how do you build courage to leave a toxic situation? Well, and I can only speak for myself because I have been in, I would say, 2 toxic relationships, me also being the toxic one. I'm not perfect at all. A lot of jealousy and fear of abandonment, but I'm working on my part and I have worked through it. I'm so much better than I was because, man, let me tell you, I feel like I truly manifested the partners that I had in pretty much my whole life. So it's so easy, I feel like, to blame the other person and look at what you did and I'm acting like this because of what you did. But no, it doesn't work like that, at least in my opinion. And if both of you are not working together on the relationship, you guys are gonna fall apart. My first one, I left my high school relationship like after 4 years. It was very toxic, both on his end and my end. It was more so I felt like I was like his mommy and I had to take care of him, and oh my god, like, what if he doesn't have me? Who's gonna like look after him? And who is he gonna be with? Who is he gonna go have sex with? And all those things. And then I don't know, from one day to the next, I came to the realization that if I stay in this relationship, it's gonna hold me back. I sent him a text, he shows up at my house, and then I give in, and then I'm like, wait, no. I sent him a text, I'm like, I can't do this, like, I really can't, like, I don't want to be in this. And then I just had to sleep at a friend's house for a few days so that he wouldn't show up at my mom's house. And then I think he got the message. My second relationship, for me, it was a little bit tricky just because it was with Olivia's dad and there was a child involved. But I remember that night when I asked him, I'm like, do you even love me? Like, he just stayed blank. And then he answered a few seconds later like, yeah. And I'm like, that's bullshit. When he took Olivia out of the state to go visit the grandparents, he expected me to go, and I'm like, I'm not gonna show up. So what I did was I got all my stuff, I looked for an apartment, and then when he got back to Florida, he was like, hey, are you gonna pick us up? I'm like, no, I moved out, I'm not coming back, like, it's really over. And then that was it. It was easier because he wasn't after me or chasing or texting or any of that, so it was a little easier. But if I were to leave a toxic relationship now that I have more therapy and I have the tools, just have a conversation, and it's gonna be hard. And if you want to build the courage to leave a toxic relationship, first try it out. Like, see if you guys want to do therapy together, and if you don't, and if he's not with it, then you talk to your therapist and you start kind of just planning it out, and you build that courage to leave. Because at the end of the day, if you just stay in a toxic relationship, the only harm it's doing is to you, and especially to your kids if you have kids. Trauma is real, and having that healthy household is so important. I mean, and I'm not perfect, I still slip, or I might raise my voice a little bit, but then I apologize and I, kind of regulate myself. Before, without the therapy, I wasn't able to do those things. It was just like bitching, and then a few hours later, everything is back to normal. But my partner now, he didn't tolerate that. He's like, I'm not doing that. How do you expect me just to like act nice and like everything's normal after you just said all these things to me? And then I'm like, okay, you're right. I didn't think of that now. I just played the blame game. I played the victim, and then it started to really have effects on me with a lot of just like obsessive thoughts of like getting fucked over. And I'm like, okay, I gotta go to therapy. So that is how you build the courage. You work on yourself, you journal, you find that inner knowing, and you rely on your therapist and maybe a group friends a group of friends, if you have, that are like-minded and healthy, to really have that support, and just expect for you to shed tears. It's normal. Crying is normal. Your soul needs it. If you hold on to all that anger and resentment, you're gonna create some kind of sickness or illness within your body. If you haven't yet watched the documentary Heal, I think it's on Amazon, please go and watch it so you understand the importance of releasing your fears, releasing your just emotions in general. Okay, next subject. Okay, how do you handle competitive pricing? I don't really look left or I don't look right. I stay in my lane and I'm like, okay, what do I want to price that makes sense for me in this moment of my life and of my business? My pricing for me might look different to you, right? So I charge $3.99 for a full set, but it's really only on like special occasions. If somebody emails, hey, I have a wedding, or hey, I really want to fly down, I'll be in Miami, can you do my lashes? Okay, here's my price. And then we schedule it out weeks in advance. So that for me is my pricing. But somebody for like Diana, who she's lashing full time, where we charge here at Lana Lashes a basic standard $250. And I even want to raise her prices because she's already booked, like so booked, and we do have a waiting list. So again, I don't really look left or right. I just really focus on mastering my craft and what can I deliver, right? That I can price myself higher. So customer experience, offering them like anything to drink, eat, remembering their name, having like a very calm experience, no back and forth, like talking crap. We don't do that here. We don't put that energy into our salon. We just talk about good things, or most of our clients just fall asleep because I put my headphones in, and Diana sometimes she talks more than I do to clients, but she'll put her headphones in. She tells them like, hey, do you mind if I put my headphones on? Feel free to take a nap. Again, don't look left or right. Please just stay in your lane and focus on you. Everybody else's journey looks different. Like, you're a different human being, and that's how you're gonna stand out. Yes, maybe there's so many people that do lashes, but how many of them really do them right, really have good energy, really have that great customer service, really have that good branding, really truly cares and is in love with their passion? Because that will show in the environments and in your work. How to deal with identity issues and confidence. You cry it out, girl. Sometimes I still deal with that. There's days where I'm like, oh my God, I'm so confident, I can't wait. There's other days where I'm like, I'm questioning myself. I'm like, am I doing enough, right? Am I doing enough as a business owner, as a leader, as a mom? Like, as a wife, am I doing enough? So it's not only just like in business, it's with everything. But I journal it, I write it down, and then I speak about it with my therapist. Or now that I've gotten so advanced and I've done so much therapy, I can literally just analyze my thoughts and then my feelings, okay? Because your thoughts create your feelings. And I'm like, okay, where is this coming from? So then I go back to a time where maybe I felt like my teacher told me something and it was not necessary, right? Because we're students when we're all learning, and there's a way to talk to students. So, or maybe it was just like my parents back then, like questioning me and like asking like, what am I going to do with myself? Or telling me like, you're lost, you're just a different child. So that is how you deal with it. But again, it takes a lot of therapy to be able to even tap in to that subconscious thought and those memories, and even just being open to the possibilities of doing that, right? Last but not least, I'm going to jump into like some lash artist talk. What advice can you give to a beginner lash tech? Oh my God, I have a lot of advice. Stop comparing your chapter 1 to someone's chapter 30. That's rule number 1. The moment that you stop doing that, the easier your life will be. Okay, the easier it will just be able to, the easier it's going to be for you to be able to get up and practice. You're not scrolling on social media looking at everything that she's done and that everything that you want to do, right? Because remember, everybody's journey looks different. Practice on as many people as you can. Start looking on Pinterest, start like seeing what colors you like, and you're gonna change throughout. You guys, I started with like pink at first. Nothing's wrong with pink. That's just not me anymore, right? Like, my nails are red and like it's driving me crazy. Okay, I love it, it's beautiful, but it's just for me like I want my white with my French or something, like whatever. That's just me. Another advice is start posting on social media. Take some kind of social media course, which I want to create for Lash artists, okay? Because this is so important. It's free. Posting is free. We don't have to do what people had to do back then. Knock on doors, put flyers on people's cars. I don't even have business cards. I'm like, here's my Instagram. This is my portfolio. That is the way that I do it. It doesn't necessarily mean that passing out flyers is wrong or bad or I don't agree with it. But let's work smarter and not harder. And if you keep telling yourself, oh, I'm not a social media person, well, then go walk around and give your business cards. Would you rather do that or be under AC, editing a beautiful post and posting it on social media? You can literally learn anything nowadays. It's up to you, right? So you want to post something on social media that could probably take you an hour right when you start off? Or do you want to spend 2 hours going around hoping that you'd book somebody? Who knows? The post that you may post might go right viral and it's going to probably get you 5 to 10 clients a week. Right? You never know. I don't even do paid ads because I feel like I don't need paid ads right now, especially for my services. My services sell themselves. Why? I follow my ebooks and my tutorials and I learn how to post. Boom. And I learn how to brand and market myself and I know my identity and I know my vision and I know where I want to go. So little by little, start figuring that out. Don't get overwhelmed. But again, the more that you compare your chapter 1 to someone's chapter 30, the less likely it is for you to figure out who you even are because you're so invested in other people's identities. So I just wanted to really say that. And if you need to rewatch this episode or just even rewatch that last 5 minutes, please go ahead and do so because let me tell you, your brain is going to want to keep you safe because it fears the unknown. Why? Because that's how we were programmed. Thousands and thousands of years ago, our ancestors were running from dinosaurs, right? We're trying to stay alive. Now, we don't need to stay alive. We have great resources. We can go to the supermarket. We don't have to go hunting. Let's be grateful for that. Change your perspective. Put in the work. Do your therapy. And just day by day, write down when you're going to practice, when you're going to take models, when you're going to look on Pinterest, when you're going to edit. Literally, everything needs to be scheduled. Everything. If it's not in your Google Calendar, it doesn't exist. I just wanted to end with that. I love you all. Don't forget to subscribe or download this podcast. Give it a thumbs up. Comment down below what you guys want to see next because literally I make every episode based on what you guys want to see. These are all questions from you girls. So I love you all and I'm so grateful and I'm so thankful and I love doing this and spreading my good energy and my hopes and my courage onto you. I love you and I'll see you next Tuesday.